Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is episode number 186 of the Audible Farm Podcast, and this episode is brought to you by Couchtown Coffee. Couchtown Coffee is roasted right here in Iowa. All you have to do is go to couchtowncoffee.com, find a coffee you like, let them know how you want it roasted, and they will roast coffee for you fresh and ship it to your house, and all you have to do is grind it up and enjoy it. I drink Couchtown coffee pretty much every morning. There's actually a cup right next to me right now. If you guys want to check it out, go to Couchtown Coffee, find a coffee you like, make an order, and when you do, let them know Audible Farm sent you, and they'll give you 20% off. Why? Because Couchtown Coffee is that awesome. Thanks, Couchtown. This week, I'm sitting down with James Tyler and Ethan Cain, collectively known as Late Street. They've been on the podcast before. I was interviewing James Tyler, and Ethan just kind of swung by and popped in, and we talked with him too. And I figured they got a lot of stuff going on. They always have a lot of stuff going on, but right now they have particularly more stuff going on than they usually do. They got a tour coming up. I mean, they got all sorts of crazy stuff we're letting out in this podcast episode. They had a single come out recently. They got a new album coming out that's kind of like a triple album. They've got more music videos planned in the works. They talk about all the stuff they've got coming up. If you thought they were busy before, check it out. They're going nuts out there, and I love it. This is a fun episode. I did edit it just a tiny bit, but if you hop over to the Patreon channel and watch it over there, it's unedited, and it's only edited slightly, but still, there's a bunch of fun stuff going on in this episode. The video aids to the hilarity of everything if you guys kind of don't know what's going on. And if you're looking for video versions of this, you can actually go over to the Late Street channel on YouTube, and I know they've got video of this that they shot on the side. So I know they're going to chop up clips and do all sorts of good stuff with it. So hit up their YouTube channel, check it out, or maybe go to their Facebook page. All the links are down below. But we'll get into that in the end of the episode. So I hope this one is as enjoyable for you guys as it is for me. I had a hoot sitting down talking with these guys. They're so fun and so enjoyable to be around. This is episode 186 with Late Street, James Tyler, Ethan Cain.
It's the Audible Farm Podcast with your host, Peter Stockdale.
Sitting down today with James Tyler, Ethan Cain.
How we doing?
Collectively known as Late Street.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I am James Tyler.
I am Ethan Cain. Yo,
Yeah.
Late Street.
I'll tell you what, I had an interview with you here before.
Yes.
And you just showed up. I mean, well, you live here, so it's just kind of like, oh, cool. And I got this like bonus thing going on, and now we're getting both of you together same time. You guys recently released a single, Plug Knock, and that had a music video with it, I believe.
Yes,
I mean, your promotion for that was absolutely insane. There was videos, still photos, you name it. You guys were going nuts with it, and
Thank you. Yeah, I think Ethan said we try. No, and I'm gonna reiterate on that. No, thank you very much. Yes, we did release a new single, Plug Knock. It's available everywhere right now. Go get it wherever you want it. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. It doesn't matter where you want it. It's there. Share it in your TikToks and your Reels too.
Nice.
The thing about that though, it's funny that you say that because I'm gonna just go ahead and be candid. I will say that I looked at him and I go, like, it was like 3 days before the drop, right? I said, we didn't do near the prior release campaign that we usually do. And I'm looking at him stressed out, you know what I mean? I'm stressing and I'm going, we didn't do near the amount of promotion that we usually do as far as pre-saves and just the whole campaign. And little do you know, I mean, Havoc being the magician that he is, shout out to Havoc the Addict being our videographer, and just, I guess, as you perceived it, you know what I mean, someone who follows and someone who stays in the loop, apparently we did our job because not only did it do what it should have, it did beyond the numbers we thought it was going to do. Our average before this was like 500 first 24 hours. We did, was it 1,000 views the first 24 hours? Yeah, and then it was...
I thought it was over 1,000.
It was probably over 1,000, but it was like 2,000, 2,500 within the first week. And that's not a whole lot. But for us here in Fort Dodge, Iowa, that's a substantial amount to get the first 24 hours,
Yeah.
first week of a release. And for the amount of promo that we thought we put into it compared to, what we thought the expectation would be, we were more than happy with. And basically beyond that, just saying thank you guys for tuning in and checking out Plug Knock and rocking with the shit. Because if you fuck with Plug Knock, the new Late Street album is going to be insane for you. I'm going to let Ethan speak a little more on that.
The Late Street album, where mine starts out. Is that what we want to jump into? Is that?
No, just go. We're just going off the Plug Knock here.
Oh yeah, Plug Knock, awesome. Yeah, when we went down to Des Moines to shoot it, man, that was crazy. We played a show the night before, so we were all drained out. We were all tired.
Was that the Lefties show?
Yeah. Talking about shooting Plug Knock.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we went on. We go to the parking ramp first.
Well, you want to talk about shooting? You can talk about shooting the video. Let's just start with, yes, we played a show. Which show it was, I'm not too sure. We played a lot of shows. I'm a little blurry on what show it exactly was.
I'm assuming it was a Lefties show.
It was definitely a Lefties show. Thank you for just bringing it back to the basis. It was definitely a Lefties show, Des Moines, Iowa University. Shout out Eric, University Ave. Lefties Live Music. It was definitely there, and then we decided to get a hotel because we knew we were going to be shooting the video this night. And it started with shooting that night after the show at the hotel room, and we had True Eddie with his conglomerates to come through and participate in the video. So there's some cameos within that visual you'll get to check out. But yeah, so after that night, which I guess didn't end for some, I know Ethan got some good sleep. And then, I actually got a couple hours out of the night, surprisingly. But the rest of the crew for that night didn't get any sleep. So then from the morning, we went into the parking structure. You go ahead and talk about that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You got us walking up like, what was it, 12 stories?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't 12 stories. It was like 7. Yeah, it was like 7 stories, man.
Yeah.
It was, but got us walking up this crazy parking ramp in the middle of Des Moines. Hungover.
Yeah.
And we finally make it there up to the top, and it's like perfect. And it was perfect. There was a little bit of snow, no one's footprints yet.
As they've seen.
Yeah, it was tight.
Shots were epic. Yeah.
I don't know. And then we went all over Des Moines. Where else did we go? We go under that viaduct, under that bridge.
To the community center.
The community center where all the graffiti was under the bridge. That was tight.
So the bridge right next to the bridge right off Fleur.
Off Fleur.
All right, yep.
Get out of here, Mr. Mike, man. Yeah, on the bridge. I already did.
Right off Fleur there.
Right off Fleur.
The community center.
The community center.
Yes.
Yeah.
They actually didn't have anything to do with it because we could not get a hold of them.
Go.
So they actually didn't have anything to do with it because we could not get a hold of them. But right off where their community center is. No, I mean right off where the community center is, they have the bridge there right out downtown, right off of Fleur, and they have a bunch of graffiti and stuff. So I knew that was an area where I wanted to hit a spot for this video for the visual. And little did we know that when we pulled up to the community center behind the gated fence that we could have easily got into, but we hesitated because we didn't have the rights and we couldn't get a hold of the community center. But they had a perfect mural done up for whatever occasion they had prior that was perfect towards a Lake Street vibe, and it was down a city block, and it was on the stage where we could have sat perfect. Either way, without getting too deep, we wanted to reach out. So the Des Moines Youth Community Center, you know what I'm saying? If for some reason you lay eyes on the Audible Farm podcast, we would love to do some work and come out and you know what I'm saying, talk to some kids and and doing some work because we definitely have been in the graffiti art since day one, and that's been a part of what we're about. Either way, we found that area, got the most out of it that we could, and that's Plug Knock for sure. Yeah, that's Plug Knock. We'll wrap that up. Yeah, here.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about all the promotion you guys did for that and how you thought you didn't do very much, but I guess, like you said, like me being somebody that, I guess on social media, that's pretty much all I ever see is what people post to promote whatever's going on, and sometimes it's just like, oh, you put an album out? I didn't know that, and but like with you guys, you definitely know, and so I'm not trying to say compared to everyone else in the scene that I see, you're doing a very good job, because I don't want to put anyone down, but at the same time, I feel like your guys' are pretty much head and shoulders above the rest when it comes to promoting your stuff before it comes out. So,
it's like we go from a pretty strict background on how we promote and what we do with the schedule and how we do it. We have like many different releases all the time. Everything's pre-released already through the system. We've got, we try to stay like months ahead of ourselves, and just so we have a backline of what we're doing and we know what we're doing and where to promote it at, how to promote it, on everything. Tyler's constantly making videos and reels and all this random stuff, catching me doing stupid shit. He's like, "Oh man, this one was great. All you said was, what was it? Fuck a reel." And it was like, bam, blew up, making crazy videos. But yeah, all the time, this dude's always constantly working, the mastermind. Yeah, we just know. Here, you want to jump back in? Yeah, he's like, let me tell you.
No, yeah, no. See, the thing is,
We should just like hold it like this together.
right. Not to get too deep into it, but I understand that the algorithm works a certain way.
Yep.
And once you understand each platform works under a certain circumstance towards that algorithm, it helps a little bit. I know that, Facebook, like you said, before you know it, someone's got something that they did, and you don't hear about it till, way later, after the fact, right? So the truth is if you follow something, or, so Facebook allows you to be a friend with somebody, or to like a certain platform, if you will, late street music. They are Audible Farm podcast. They allow you to like something, but there's also a choice to follow it. So when you follow it and you click that extra follow button, it allows you to get that post instantly the day of, within the minutes that you're checking your news feed. You'll get it. But there's also the ones who don't follow it but like it. They get it like a day or two, maybe even 3 days later. They'll get that post. And knowing that helps to where it's like, so I look at it like this, based off what you said is, I'll make a post on Tuesday, and we'll make a post on Tuesday, and we'll synchronize it, we'll make sure we share it, and we'll share it to these group pages and so on and so forth. But then say we did on Tuesday, on Thursday, you better make sure we did the same post with a different taste, though, a different photo or a different setup, a different setup. Yeah. So and then from there, so those 3 day behind people will get what they need off the first post, and then the ones who are instantly there will just never forget that something's about to happen when it's going to happen, in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the crazy thing is, the algorithm itself, actually changes and, what's out there. Like you mentioned Reels. I mean, if you look it up, the last time that you were on the podcast was literally a year ago, and Reels weren't even, really a thing, I don't think, So, there's always things changing.
Right, Ethan's here. No, you're absolutely right, though. When we did this about close to a year ago, almost to an exact T, Reels weren't a big thing like they are now, to a sense where, to be honest, the past year we've been working on getting our Reels to a point where we can get paid off of them. I have friends out here, locally who get paid off their Reels, and this is not a hate statement. Salute to y'all, do what you do. We're out here just trying to get to a point where they reach out to us and say, we want to start monetizing and paying you for your Reels. But yeah, I mean, since we've talked last, that's definitely been a high focus, and I think it's an important thing now that, it started with TikTok. That's the whole scheme of TikTok, is a real format, right? Now Instagram, Facebook, and everything else. Now Instagram, Facebook, and everything else follows that algorithm and follows that standard of, we can give you this kind of content on our platform.
Yep.
So it's definitely important to, Instagram and Facebook, you can still synchronize. So when we post a reel on Instagram, we know that it's going through the Facebook circulation as well. And when you boost your ad campaigns, it's not just about your post anymore. It's about boosting your reel, and it's somewhat of a story in a sense, depending on how you look at it. If you understand a reel or a story, you can boost either one now, and you don't get the best of both worlds. You got to boost either one of the two. And so reels are definitely an important thing, and they've changed a lot since the last time we meet, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. So let's change the gears here. I mean, let's change gears here a little bit. You guys got a new album coming out. Let's call it some sort of a trilogy album. What are you guys gonna call this? As far as it's not a double disc something like they would call it.
It's a triple disc, if you will. But before I explain the all the detail parts, I'm gonna let him just introduce the whole concept to this.
Okay.
Introduce the trilogy.
So the trilogy is literally, it is a 3-piece album set with a solo album from me, Where the Street Begins. The middle album is The Intersection, and that's the Late Street album between both of us. And then Where the Street Ends is James's album at the end. And it's going to be a 3-piece art set. So like you'll have to get all 3 albums to complete the piece of art. It's like I said, my album is really really crazy. And should I just jump into the differences between all of it right now? Or?
Yeah, you cover the bases.
Yeah, right. It's based off of the Shel Silverstein book. What is it? Where the Sidewalk Ends.
Yep.
The art. What do we have? Are you looking for the book? Oh yeah, just run for it. Oh snap! Fuck my shit up.
We're,
There's a chair.
we're all good.
That was a hop. This will be great footage. Hey, don't jump over fucking.
James Tyler.
Oh my gosh, this is like extra bonus for everybody watching on the Patreon. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. There you go. There it is. Where the
This is not
sidewalk
gonna get
ends.
cut out. This is. Oh my god! This is staying on. This is.
Oh my god! I just full weight capacity towards you.
Oh my gosh. For everyone, yeah. Everyone that's not
James
watching this
Tyler.
one, you're out of luck.
You soon will be. Oh my gosh.
Jesus
Christ.
We've got
Apparently, I felt like it was a good enough idea to get this book out right now to the point to allow my equilibrium to be completely off balance. I just fell on you, bro.
That's hilarious.
As I hold this book up, while you tell them how I just fell on you and go back into your Where the Street Begins. No, Where the Street Begins. This is what it is.
So, yeah, all right. It's based off of Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends, and it's the Intersection trilogy. Jesus Christ.
Yes, Where the Street Begins.
So my album, super crazy. The whole.
That book on the table to begin with. Bro.
Oh my gosh, this is too hilarious.
All right. I love it. No, I love
You good?
I love it. Yeah.
You back?
I love it. We're good.
All right. So my album starts off with kind of like a story, and it has like it's gonna have 3 videos that are gonna be along with it as well, and but it's really diverse. It's also my very first album that I'm ever releasing, that I have released. I've released tons of solo songs throughout the years, bunch of different band stuff, but this one's kind of gonna be a story through the journey of my life and the things I'm doing right now and everything we're trying to reach for to jump off this cliff and jump into the industry and break through. And then the Late Street album is also a story. The whole thing is going to be a story told through.
Before you bring in one second.
Why? No, let me just tell my stuff and then
I know.
you can
Before
just.
you bring in a Late Street, though, you're about to go to Late Street album. I don't want you to go there yet. My bad. Hold on. I don't want him to go to Late Street album yet. I don't.
Let's hear
I
why.
want him to go back into his solo album. I want you to go back into your solo, and I want you to emphasize even more on it because I feel like you skimmed through it way too quick, bro. I feel like you skimmed through it way too quick. It deserves way more. Not only is this his first ever solo hip hop album, first solo album ever. This dude grew up in bands, you know what I'm saying? Hip hop wasn't his where he started this music shit. This is his first solo album ever. Not only that, but it comes and stems from so much rooted deepness that's way beyond just the surface of Lay Street or what you may know or may not know us as. And I want him to touch a little bit more on that with songs like Goodnight Nightmares and Medusa and Flip a Coin specifically because you have heard that single, and if you haven't, you need to look up that single on Ethan Cain's solo channel and Lay Street's channel. Once again, I want you to just kind of touch a little bit deeper on that because it's definitely needed.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna jump into the singles or nothing. All right, so talk about all the songs.
That's the album, you know.
Well, yeah, so.
Where it comes from.
But the first song's gonna be called "What You Need," and it's gonna be a real like heavier trap song where I come from. Like the origins of hip hop I started listening to was like some down south Goody Mob and like 666 Mafia, and then the Wu-Tang Clan, and then like Twista and Speed Not Mobsters, Do or Die, that type of stuff. So I always had a really unique flow. So I wanted to showcase that. And I put that together, and that song goes off. It's heavy, and it starts with that song, and then it's gonna come into That Girl after What You Need, and that song it's about a girl that everybody wants, and you may not be able to get or maintain, but everybody sees it. Everyone chasing this girl, and by the end of it, there's a song called "Goodnight Nightmare," and that's gonna be the end of the 3 stories that'll kind of lead you into the whole other concept of where we're going to take the album visually and what we're trying to tell with our story. But the Goodnight Nightmare is, kind of going through your day-to-day struggle, but then, maybe at night you get into some nightmare stuff and you have these dreams or these ideas that are happening. And this is just like that song coming up, going through your life and then waking up, just seeing, and waking up, and then maybe the worst case scenario, once you wake up in the morning, like, oh snap, that really happened. Like, wow.
Is this where I want to be?
Right. Or did that actually happen?
Yeah, or did that actually happen?
It's not about is this where I want to be. But, it's pretty cool. The album also goes into some other stuff. I think I'm going to do something special with a little tasteful song that I created. I don't know exactly if I'm going to put that one. I'll probably put a couple on there actually now. Who knows? The ideas are just keep flowing for that. It's going to be an incredible story. It's been an incredible process making this album. Many long nights. Vodka is crazy.
He said vodka. He said it's been an incredible process. Vodka.
Yeah, many long nights of drinking vodka and Red Bulls, chilling.
Yeah.
Making music, shit. Yeah, Tyler, you're just a stressful handful.
I know. I see.
Well, I mean, like that's something else to like touch on though, because like you got to make music. You're not just sit at home watching reruns of Seinfeld, which that's like all I do. And you and I need to hash out some Seinfeld stuff here.
I love Seinfeld. I've actually discovered Seinfeld recently. I fell in love.
It's hard not to. Hard not to.
I fell in love. No, I feel like I'm stressing Ethan Cain out here. No, I see him over here. He's just explaining the albums. He's just scratching the bridge, like, oh shit, man.
So yeah, you guys got like this trilogy album that's gonna come out, and I feel like that as a concept on itself is really awesome, and the whole fact that you are kind of leading from one story to the next to the culmination of the two kind of deal. So where are we going after the Ethan Cain album?
Yeah, so I mean, as he got into a little bit before I rudely interrupted him and told him to go deeper on his own. Is the Late Street album, and I don't want to touch too much on the Late Street album. So his album is Where the Street Begins. That is the title, based off, as you know now, Shel Silverstein's Where the Sidewalk Ends. And then the middle album, Late Street's middle piece of the art of this trilogy, the second piece of this trilogy, is called The Intersection. The Intersection, I feel like, should be self-explanatory. Us being Late Street, Deuce Block Clothing, Deuce Block on Late Street. The Intersection, I mean, to sum it up real quick before I get into where the street ends on my shit, is the intersection is where we meet. It's the crossroads of where Ethan Cain and James Tyler come together to create Late Street as it exists, as a group, as an entity that is stronger than just an individual versus an individual. We take two separate human beings. We are not the same human being. And most on a typical level would say these two shouldn't even be motherfucking brothers as they are. You know what I mean? But here we are, defeating them odds and more connected with each other on a brotherhood level than a lot of people are even fortunate enough to get as a friendship in their life. You know what I mean? So that's the intersection. So and then going from there, it's Where the Street Ends, and that's my solo album. And it's so important the way this is laid out as a story musically because of the way it's structured. And the way that it's visually represented through the visual pieces of art that are going to be through music videos, through certain singles, and through the visual representation of the album artwork. I mean, it's one piece of art, and when you look below the surface, literally in the artwork, you will see certain things that are symbolic to certain songs and singles you'll find throughout this trilogy. And Where the Street Ends, on my end, is just kind of... I've had this vision since I was really fucking young. Really fucking young. And, really fucking young. And this album is kind of my representation of the feat that it's took, It's always been kind of a back burner thing because society says, go to school, get a degree, go to college after high school, do all these things. And then once we had kids, I had kids really young, 18 years old, 19 years old, going to my first kid, and I had my second kid by 20. And he followed, very quickly ensued. Ethan Cain did with two kids, so we're both rocking two kids out here. We live life, we're going through it. And this music's just kind of always been this, back burner to husband, to fatherhood, to 9-to-5 society sheep level shit, and for the first time ever, we're kind of out here for the past year, decided to jump off the cliff, take this leap of faith, if you will. And so where my album comes in is the well-rounded attribute of you get where the street begins with Ethan Cain and his first album. Not only is it a complete absolute expression of where he's at, where he comes from, and who Ethan Cain is, it happens to be the overall orientation of where we all come from, kind of coming from Fort Dodge and in these dirty Dodge realm existences and circumstances that we come from. And then the Late Street album being this crossroads of no matter where you come from, no matter what your circumstance or what your environment is, there's a will and a way to make it out of it. And then my album kind of coming in and just where it's this is the leap of faith. This is where you finally decide, and this is where we finally decided at this chapter in our life and our career with this music shit that we're gonna finally take this leap of faith, take this jump off the cliff, and do a full-fledged leap headfirst into what this so-called music industry is as an independent artist, and take that realm by the horns and say, you know, we're gonna hone this, we're gonna own it. Everything we say, we're gonna do. If we say it, we're gonna do it. We won't say it otherwise. And this is our stamp of approval on that entire entity, because we know how important it is from our community, this northwestern Iowa region, you know what I mean? Humboldt County, Webster County, Fort Dodge shit. It's like no one's came from where we come from.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Nothing's happened up here. Here, I'll just hold your hand. So from up here, I'll just hold it. You can just be my fucking mic hand, you know.
That's gold.
You know, yeah. But speaking on that, it's like, you know, there's a lot of great music and musicians that come from this town and around this area. And, you know, we all came from a crazy background. We've been doing music for a long time, been pushing it for a long time. And there's been bands that have come close out of this area, you know, looking back like the Stumpletons, they came close. Yeah, you know, a lot of our influences, you know.
B.O.B., don't forget.
Oh, yeah, B.O.B.
Them back in the day. On the hip-hop level.
Yeah, for sure.
A different realm, but yeah.
I was talking about people who are actually like, came from this area that were like gonna get a deal type shit.
That's what I'm.
They weren't getting a deal.
Well, B.O.B. wasn't.
Yeah, they ain't getting a deal. You're just talking. You're just talking to talk. Let me talk. Shut up. So you know, it's cool to finally be at a point now with us that we've put the work in, shown an example, put the, you know, the hours in, played all the shows, doing everything that we're doing, making the videos, stuff like this. You know, the media side of everything. You know, we're trying to really push this. This is more than just a hobby to us. Obviously, we do this. And so it'd be a dream come true to be like, yeah, out of Fort Dodge. Yeah, these boys came from Fort Dodge, Iowa, and really did some shit. And be the first ones out here doing it from here. That would be awesome. Really awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
not unheard of to get out there and actually get some sort of recognition. You know, like you said, there are bands from around here that have gotten some form of recognition, whether or not it's like getting signed or whatever. But I remember Hold for Swank had a music video that was on MTV,
Yep,
and like
yep.
they, I believe, were also on like maybe like a Weezer tribute album or something.
Definitely.
too.
They did some stuff.
They did some,
Hold for
you
Swank did
you
some
know.
stuff
So there's
too.
people out here doing
Yeah,
stuff, you know.
definitely.
And it just, I guess, it also kind of depends on how you want to measure it with the measuring stick,
Right.
you know.
What is the measuring stick for sure?
Yep.
It's a different era of the industry. It's a different era of the industry as well. So when the Hold for Swing was doing their thing, it was based on sales, album sales, shows, and how far that reach was extending. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, and I agree. It's definitely based on a measuring scale. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Super dope.
So what I mean, like, you guys obviously, I heard you guys say you had videos prepared for this. I've seen some of the artwork. I mean, there's all sorts of things you guys have in the works for this. So is there anything you guys want to leak out there? Like, do you have a video? Is there a video for like just you, one for you and one for the whole thing? Or are we going to have to wait and see what's going on here?
Yeah.
Or?
For the upcoming?
Yeah, no, yeah, for the upcoming thing. For the upcoming thing. Yeah, I'll have a three single of mine. The first 3 songs of my album will have 3 videos that go along with it. There will be more videos, but the first 3 will be telling a story strictly like based on where we're gonna go with from my story to the Late Street album. There'll be 3 songs there telling the story, if not more, telling the story in videos, mapping out the story through the journey, you know, and then into James's album, where there'll be another 3 or more videos telling the story, and you'll see this whole thing. It'll be like a little mini movie, you know what I mean? Once you have all 3 things done.
That's cool.
Yeah, all of them, and then, you know, we want to do a vinyl thing. So when you have all 3 vinyls, whether you just collect vinyls or you listen to them or you put them on in, you know, a case and hang them on a wall. You'll have all three of them to create this really cool image of us jumping off the cliff. Shout out Seth Huggins for doing that for us. That was really awesome. He did an amazing job with the artwork. What else? What else do we want? What else you got?
Well, here, so I mean, yeah, on the solo tip, he also going a little bit before the trilogy. If you do or don't know, Ethan Cain has Straight Outrageous, his solo music video, and that's dropped on his Ethan Cain solo YouTube channel. And then, you know, myself, James, has All Day as well on my solo YouTube channel. So, I mean, we definitely stay on the solo tip as far as that goes. But to go into the trilogy, I mean, he just explained all of it for sure on that note.
Yeah, what we're going to do with what, some of the marketing plan we have for that.
Yes. I mean, like, that's just, I think, one of the things that blows my mind is, like, not only are you spending time to what seems like, it seems like you guys are, like, every month, like, something comes out from you in, like, a big production sense. And it's like, how do you have the time to like make that much music and just put it out there? And then you're like, oh, in the background, we were also working on a trilogy album. And for that, there's going to be 9+ music videos. It's like, are you serious? Like, how do you have time for all this stuff, you know?
To be honest,
yes, and we haven't even gotten to the fact that you guys are, we're setting up a tour. Yeah, we're getting to this. You guys have a tour you're setting up for this too.
Like, so, I mean, to be honest, we don't have time. Between dad life, 9 to 5, and this, we don't have time. There's no time.
Yep.
You just got to make it happen. Like, you know, average about 3 to 4 hours of sleep every night, because, you know, shit's got to get done. I get off at the 9 to 5, and, you know, if I don't have my kids that day, then it's straight to fucking work. If I do have my kids, then I put the work down to be a father. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's a heavy balance, and to hear you even say this big production scale of every release, I just want you to know the appreciation that we take from that, because we strive so hard to have a hint of professionalism, or make sure it seems like you guys understand we're out here trying to make moves, and it goes beyond the local reach. Everything we do,
has that intention that it's going to be seen.
we prepare. Is how to answer that question. Is we prepare. You know, that whiteboard's bare because we tackled everything last year. So we're in the process of creating this year, which we're explaining right now, and we just have yet to write down. It's probably about time we do write it down. Well, because Lacey's written down. Ethan Cain and James isn't.
Like, well, that's already pretty much done. Now we're just pretty much basing on the after the tour albums are released. We need to put that on the whiteboard. You know, we've got next year in the brain.
Yep.
Right. So basically, I mean, what it is now is last year, like he said vaguely in the beginning of this, is we spent a lot of time with some Red Bull and vodka in the studio, and we made these albums. You know, we recorded these albums not knowing we were going to make these albums at the time. I had my album planned. My album was Where the Street Ends. That's what was going to happen. That was James Tyler's solo album. That was going to happen. As we started just recording and a lot of 2021, just getting into it, it kind of just turned into like, well, wait a minute. We have something going on here. This realm, this identity, this vision that we've been in lately. It's coexisting with each track onto the next, whether it's Lay Street, Ethan Cain, or James. And so that all kind of came together. But the way that makes it kind of easier is we're not coming up with this like South Park where it's week-to-week basis. This has kind of been planned out. So we made on a Plan It All initially. The songs came together. 2021, we made over 50 songs. Damn. Whether it was Lay Street, Ethan Cain, or James Tyler, well over 50, into the hundreds. I guarantee it.
That's wild.
You know, and we're dealing with some technological issues for sure. But we've made so many songs, and so now it's just kind of been a plan of action. So we sat down, we looked at each other and said, what's our plan of action?
What's the shitty one?
We also made a clothing company last year, and that took a lot of the reins as far as concentration and where we hone our focus. But this year was meant to be, okay, we're going to reimagine the platform of Deuce Block Clothing. We're going to reiterate all those hubs. And not only that, but all this music we did last year and re-recorded, we're going to now put into play and have this kind of marketing campaign set out and ready to go. So finding time just comes with preparation, to answer your question, long roundabout here.
Yeah. I mean, that's something else. Like, it's tough to fight that burnout feeling too, because you can do too much and then it becomes like it sucks, because if you do too much, and I was just recently talking to somebody about this, because I don't know, everybody knows I didn't put out an episode last week, so like, I mean,
and you hold yourself accountable for that 1 week though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
but I just did so much, and then it was just like the one day I had off, it's like I'm just gonna sleep for 14 hours straight, you know.
It's needed sometimes.
Yeah, you know, and I mean it's tough, you know. So
yeah, self-care is a real thing, you know. maintaining your mental health, maintaining yourself. That's a real thing, you know, and just taking time for yourself, taking time for your family, taking time to do your thing. Experiences, in my hand, it's like experiences create the best music. So sometimes you need to be in a high angst or stressed out to make some good music. Sometimes you just need to be chilling and relaxed and vibing and, you know, take a couple days off of everything and just find yourself again, find your center, and then jump back in, you know, and like, you know, take care of yourself, take care of your head, take care of your family, take care of everything around you, because, you know, that's what really is going to make everything better for everyone, make better for all of us, make better music, make better world. Fuck. You know?
So how are you guys gonna? I mean, like we were talking earlier, you guys are setting up a tour. How are you gonna fight this burnout while this tour is? Let's just talk about the tour.
No, so before I get right into that, I'm gonna go back to the burnout for me. Just 'cause I mean, I've never touched base on it like this before, and that burnout thing for me is super fucking real because, you know, this burnout thing is I lose sleep over this music shit. Like how to campaign it, how to market it, and I've dove myself into this business learning for the past, you know, working on a year now. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying I'm no fucking genius. I'm a student in training all day, but I've dove myself into it, and like I said, you know, I get off the 9 to 5 and I go right back into it, you know, for another 8-hour shift, and, you know, and work on minimal hours of sleep. The burnout level is real to the point that it wasn't till a little bit after the start of 2022 that I looked at Ethan and said, we have to adapt a schedule. First of all, Mondays are practice, Tuesdays are engineering, Wednesdays are sessions for other people, Thursdays are everything that has to be done within this monthly schedule. You know, like I needed some sort of schedule for myself, so that exactly to maintain, and we knew what we were doing, and so that when the time around me being father is I don't have to worry about getting any deadline crunch schedule shit. I don't have to worry about taking my time away, and just making sure everything week to week out. Because I mean, I've never been diagnosed, but I think Ethan will back me on this as well. As I'm a OCD motherfucker, like, and I'm super controlling in a sense that I work on every day, you know, and I, you know, I work on it, but it's a needed fashion to get shit done, and it's also a needed fashion for Ethan Cain to be who he is. Going back to the intersection, Lake Street is, you know, he's that free will spirit, like, bro, it's gonna be all right, everything works out, and I'm like, well, if we don't work, it ain't gonna get done. So I mean, it definitely balances itself out. But I'm gonna pass the mic to him in here a second. But to go on to the next question, the tour, balancing all that. The tour is, I mean, we're excited. We're headlining our first tour this year in 2022 as Lake Street, and we got 93 and Alive. First and foremost, shout out 93 and Alive, helping us out. Aaron, you the man, bro. Helped us book a lot of these spots. A lot of it's mainly focused on the Midwest. Because, I mean, to be honest, as a headlining tour, it's not like we have the serious grounds to go out on all these coasts and say we have a name for ourselves and expect it to come back. That ain't realistic, right? Mm-hmm. So this is our version of throwing darts and saying demographically and analytically through
places around that we can hit.
These are places that give us the streams. These are places that are hubs when it comes to our Spotify's, our distribution that says, our distribution that says, these are where people are listening. So we hit all these hubs, you know, and so we got about 5 stops locked in right now. It's the Off the Cliff tour. And we're starting at the Freight Room in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's where we're starting off the tour, and that's June 23rd. And we're going to be launching it then. It's going to go into July 1st. It's probably going to possibly go into July 2nd and 3rd, maybe into the 5th. And at the end of July, we're going to be doing some Colorado stops I can't say too much on. And then before we even launch the tour, we got a big announcement that I can't say too much on yet.
Oh, my gosh.
But just get familiar with Strange Music is all I'm going to say on that. So, I mean, balancing the tour and everything, it is what it is, and it's a struggle, but it's necessary. And we love playing shows, and it's what keeps everything alive. And just know that we're going to be out here playing and doing everything we got to on the physical realm, no matter what. Unless you hit that after that.
The same response.
Just on the tour and
so
that overload is what he was talking about. Just talking about the tour.
Well, this is a tour in general. Yeah, that's where I'm at. The tour is exciting. The tour is something that I've wanted to do since I was a little kid, playing in bands. I thought this would be like, you know, I'm ready to go Nikki Sixx this whole Midwest real quick. Like, I am not fucking playing.
Almost spit my game
yeah,
right
I'm
out.
ready to go do some shit, man. I'm ready to go have a really good time at all these different venues. And, you know, if we sleep in a car, if we sleep in a hotel, you know, I'm ready to rock it out. It's, like I said, it's something that we've been wanting to do. We want to hit the Midwest, really put a staple down for our fans and the people that are around us, you know, that they can come to these shows and support, because it's gonna be well worth it. I'll make it entertaining. I swear to God. If not, I'll push him over, and then it will be entertaining. Yeah, we'll do something. yeah, we'll do something, man. But yeah, the tour is exciting. Like I said, it's something we've always wanted to do since we were kids, and especially together. We're like, yeah, dude, what's the tour gonna be like together? We're gonna do something crazy. We're gonna skateboard off a roof somewhere. Yeah, who knows? Our parents are probably like, oh my God, what are they? Yeah. What are they gonna do next? For real, we're the new modern day jackass crew. Me and the homies, we just do this.
So I'm assuming there's going to be plenty of documenting going on this.
Yes, yeah, we are definitely gonna be filming everything. We try to do all the vlogs.
All right.
Look,
Ask that question one more time.
So there's going to be a lot of documentation, videos, photographs. I'm sure there's going to be your typical social media reels and all the other stuff we can expect from you.
Yes.
But I'm hopeful. I'm hoping to see some sort of mini movie or something come out of this maybe.
Yeah, that would be so cool. Because we've done some vlog stuff where we were down in Omaha on the first little mini tour we did, and we still have some stuff that we haven't even released yet because we're just slow and we have other stuff that so many stuff. But we're trying to do this whole vlog thing where pretty much you can take these journeys with us, and starting out here in the house and loading up the car and then getting in the car and so much fun stuff. But yeah, we're probably gonna have a mini movie after this tour. After this tour, that's what I'm saying. The trilogy is gonna be a movie for sure. That's gonna be a movie in itself. He's just talking about the tour. He wants to see a movie like that. Yeah, that's going to happen.
Oh yeah, some home video thing.
Yes, it'll be like old school CKY videos, the old tapes.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot like that. There'll be pranks. Hopefully, Tyler would be getting chased by the police and stuff, and then I'll be hiding in the hotel room with the window cracked, oh snap. Yeah, no, I'll be filming him, oh man, you better run so fast and circle hot laps, and then we'll just bail into the hotel room. It'll be fine. They'll never know which one it is. You got this. You're a ninja, bro. I believe in you.
Oh man, it is fun. It is fun getting to sit down and talk with both you guys because you have such a fun dynamic. Because like you said earlier, you might be two different people, but you guys get along so well, and it's just fun to hang out with both of you guys. Because the last time you were on the podcast, it was, I don't know, maybe a month later. I ended up coming back over and just hanging out with you guys for a while. And that was just fun just to sit around and hem-haw about stuff, and we played a tiny bit of music here, just a little bit, but it was just, we talked about stuff, and it's just fun to sit down and talk with you guys. You guys are so fun to sit down and, I don't know, you're just funny dudes. You play off each other very, very well.
We're ridiculous. It's been a long time. Yeah, 2002 we started hanging out every day. It's been. Tell the knee pad story? No, we're not going to get into that. We have other stuff we have to talk about.
20 years, man.
Yeah, 20 years of knee pads. Yeah, that's how it all started. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it's definitely gonna be the dirt. Yeah, the tour is gonna be it's gonna be the movie is probably gonna be the dirt. It's pretty exciting. I know that I'm Nikki Sixx in this whole town.
Gonna reiterate that one more time.
Yeah, fucking right. We're doing some cool stuff.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and that's another thing is a tour, no matter how big or how small, whether or not it's I'm not hitting downtown, so I'm hitting the suburbs. It's it doesn't matter, because you guys still went through all the work to set all this stuff up. I had somebody recently on, we were talking about going on tours and things like that. I've never been on one, but the amount of work it takes for you to sit down and just be these are the places that listen to us the most, so they're probably going to be the places that will yield us.
Right.
It'll be beneficial for us to go to these places, etc.
Yes.
And to sit down and look at those instead of just being I want to play Boise, Idaho, because it sounds fun to go to Boise.
Right. I want to go to fucking Cleveland, so I can be hello,
Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland. Yes.
Let me get this right. And that's a very real thing. And that was important for sure, was to make sure we strategically placed out these spots and made sure that they were somewhat beneficial, because throwing a dart is one thing, but we also have connections in each one of these locations.
Oh, nice.
Whether it's artists that we've connected with and they've come play with us down in Des Moines, or we've traveled and we've ventured out.
And, the whole thing was thought out and budgeted. we're like, how can we do this? Yeah, we're trying to, we got a couple sponsors that are going to help us out. Yeah, we're doing a lot of crazy big moves in this one little thing, and hopefully, it just pans out. The eggs in the basket, the strategy that we're gonna go at, that we've already attempted a mini one. I will just keep doing these runs and keep doing our thing, and eventually, it's gonna pan out. It's gonna play out,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that just goes to show you, like, I'm in a band in Des Moines, and we're recognized enough where when like touring bands come through, they're like, you guys want to open for us. So like, if you're in a scene enough and you play enough shows and you show up and people are exposed to your stuff, they have no choice but to recognize that you're there, And
that's
the point.
Yeah, it's like I love going to shows just for one, to meet new people. You know what I mean? That's what I did when I was a kid. Just go to shows to see who was else gonna be there. Like, I didn't have a cell phone. I just was like, I knew a show was gonna be on, so I'm gonna go to the show and see what's up. Meet all my friends there, probably. You know what I mean? So it's like, then I knew from there. It's like, well, I'm now at a business aspect of it. It's like, I want to go to shows to meet new people, to introduce myself, introduce our brand, introduce our music. And if we're not playing, even just to hang out. And then if we are playing, we get to show them and showcase that thing. And that beautiful thing that we have, and then they can be like, wow, I did not expect that. Or like, they've been there before and they'll be like, these boys are dope, be ready for something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really cool thing to have. And that's why live shows to me are super important, like, have always been super important. Presentation is always super important, like, all of that. Gotta have it like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, networking is such an important thing, and whether or not you realize you're doing it, like, I'm not trying to be like, hey, but I recently spoke at a community college about that, where it's just kind of like, you do it in your life anyways with your friends. Like, you pick your friends based on who you enjoy hanging out with. You have similar interests. Like, I want to do more of this, and they do it as well, so I have someone else to do it with. And you just find that in like a professional sense in some fashion or another. It's like, I like music, they like music. We play shows together sometimes. They're cool. I'll talk about them. They'll talk about me. Everybody wins,
Right.
know?
And it's word of mouth, and word of mouth is the best marketing, best network.
It still is.
Yeah, because it's loyalty. Because it's like, it's like, if I tell you something that I like, then you'll be like, wow, you'll be 10 times more likely to be like, well, Ethan says that this was a good thing. I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have told me that if he didn't really think it was good. And it's like, that's how that loyalty to word of mouth is still the best advertisement, in my opinion. Like, that is the real thing. And it's how I use it. It's how I promote it. I love that. It's like, if you can just be genuine with someone and tell them exactly what's up and show them something that they've never seen before, hopefully, like, it impacts their life, that they'll never forget that one moment. Like, when you showed them this, they'll be like, oh, wow. They'll hear a song and they'll be like, right back to that day you met or whatever. Like, music has that power, and that's why it's just so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just so cool that, like, I don't know, it just, all of this stuff you guys are doing feels like it's a giant culmination. It's all coming together, and there's this giant, like, mountaintop that you guys are ascending at right now. Because I mean,
that is exactly what it is. We are lifting. Once it gets down to the artwork, we are lifting off the Deuce block, 2nd Avenue South, right over here. We are pulling that physical earth out of the ground and taking it to pretty much Los Angeles, and being like, jump off. We're like, that's kind of like what this image is, and we're just jumping off. Then we're taking the fucking earth with us. Like, we're taking this this plot of earth that's coming out of the ground that we've pulled up, and that's really what this whole thing is about, and showing them that, look, we're really doing this and trying to make it work at all ends, and sacrificing ourselves for this music. It's crazy. Crazy amount of shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, I do want to say, like, after all the reels and all the Facebook clips and all the stories and all the Instagram posts, it's funny that word of mouth is still, like, the most powerful. Like, isn't that one? But you have to do the other.
Right,
you can't just not tell anyone.
For real. You gotta do it all.
But yeah,
jack of all hats nowadays. I'm like, I didn't even get into music to make videos or like reels or any of that. I'm like, I started playing guitar because I like playing guitar, and I was like, yeah, this is great.
No, let me touch on that.
Hold on, what?
I just want to touch on what you just said.
Can I finish what I was saying?
Oh,
No, you just got excited and jumped at me.
Go ahead.
That's why I started playing guitar. I just really liked music and it was influential. I didn't have any ambition of, being in the real game or like a influencer thing or anything like that. And I feel like nowadays you have to have all of the platforms, be all over social media, all over the reels. Like if you even want to think for a second that you're doing anything and you're not doing those basic of things that you can control, get out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not doing half enough because someone out there is doing even more than us. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's a real thing. And it's like I didn't even think about those things when I started doing music. I just thought that I'd be playing guitar or rapping at a show, and one day some cool A&R dude was going to be walking in and be like, "Hey, you guys sounded great. You have a big crowd. Give you a record deal." You know?
Yeah.
Had no idea. I just this dream idea. And it's like, but now word of mouth, marketing, all of that Tyler stuff, all that James stuff, all that James goodness. He's just been showing us all this good stuff.
And he's absolutely right. And that was going back to that was a decision we had to make. You know what I mean? On a real note, that was a decision we had to make. Was back when we decided, like I was talking about, a little bit while back, was about 2020. We had to decide. Okay, we didn't come up with these motives. We didn't come up knowing or thinking this is what it took to be. This is my career. This is my living. So we had to make a decision. No, neither of us wanted to be fucking influencers or cared too much about the social media realm. To be honest, if I didn't have to have social media, I fucking wouldn't have it. You know what I mean? But we had to make that decision and say, okay, well, word of mouth is the strongest, and playing these shows is the impression we need to make to where we need to make it and where we want to make it. But if we want to make a living, then you need to be some sort of an advertisement or influencer on this media realm. And if you don't have the hubs for them to come back to and purchase off of and have this enterprise that says, this is where you find us, this is where you get us, and this is where you want us, then we knew we weren't going to fucking have any likelihood of having a profitability in this industry. So it was a decision we had to make, and we looked at each other and said,
Do we have this in us?
Do we have this in us? Do we have what it takes, and are we willing to sacrifice what we thought this was going to be, everything we fell in love with, and say we have a whole new passion now, a whole new realm that we have to take in to make this shit work. You know what I mean? He says we sold out. Everything we thought we would be and what it stood for is definitely a sellout now, but that's just what it takes to make it.
Sold out or bought in? You
bought
said it right
in.
there, bought
Well,
in.
hey, you know what? I'm gonna steal the tech line. We ain't gonna go mainstream. We're gonna make the mainstream go Lake Street, and I'm just gonna steal that tech line. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. We're taking the plateau off the fucking ground of the earth, like you said, and we're gonna lift that shit up, and that's Lake Street. That's what we're gonna give them. For sure.
I do want to make the correction though. I think the saying is, I didn't sell out, they bought in.
Yes.
I think that's what it's not. I bought it, they bought in. So
they bought in.
They bought
right.
in.
They bought in.
Because I'm the one selling and they're buying. So yeah,
absolutely.
There we go. But yeah, there you go. So I mean, like, I wouldn't even call it selling out because I mean, there's so many people that are. I don't want to sound like hey, but like when I was first playing music, I was like, I played in a cover band, but my dream was like not to cover music, and I was in high school, and I horrible at writing songs. You can't just write a million songs when you're in high school unless you're like, good at writing music and stuff. But like, I don't know. I always wanted to be in like a band that wrote original music, and then I was like, I'm never gonna join a cover band. And then and now I'm like absolutely loving being in a cover band. So I'm just like underselling all my young values. But like when I was younger, I was just like, Def Leppard sucks. It's like
Def Leppard sucks.
It's like no, they don't. They're awesome. They sold 1 billion albums.
Yeah,
like,
fuck yeah. Dude has one hand and plays the drums. Like, quit hating. Totally. And for me, it was like I grew up in like this heavy punk scene here in Dodge, where it was like, play fast, boopa-cha beats, and fucking scream and incorporate like metal into your fucking shit, and you had to be heavy, and it had to be cool, whatever. And I grew up with like bands like, Rancid, and then there's bands like Green Day who got like 86 from the Cali scene back in the day for selling out,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm over here, I'm like, well, if that's selling out, like I'm trying to fucking do that, I'm trying to make a bunch of fucking, when they dropped Dookie, that was like a multi-million sold copy. I think would it go gold in like a week or something like that back in the day or something. It was huge back in '94.
Yeah, we're gonna yell at people for selling out. Then like Operation Ivy should have just kept going, and Rancid should have never happened.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
So at what point do you quit climbing this mountain that you guys are climbing?
And I'm over here like I want to be as big as Queen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to be like an arena fucking band, like whatever we are. I'm trying to have a full like percussion, full percussion, fucking girls singing harmonies behind me, the fucking live band. Like, that would be the dream, That'd be pyrotechnics, that's what I'm trying. I don't care if that's selling out. That's what it is. Yeah, let's do it.
Do pyrotechnics. That'd be
dope,
awesome. That'd be awesome. All you need is a license and then just a knowledge of science.
Yeah, right on.
Unfortunately, I think the knowledge of science is probably the harder part, but
they're not. Timing's hard, but yeah, he's gonna. Hey, hold on 1 second. I gotta go. Do
you're musicians. Timing shouldn't be tough.
Yeah, right. Tyler's timing was fucking awful. He jumped over the couch and fell on top of me. Whatever. In the middle of a show, in the middle of a live show, Tyler would stop, try to go EQ something right when the pyro was about to go off, and he would get blown up like Michael Jackson, like straight up.
Just gotta mix this quick.
You'd be like, oh no, I gotta do. You'd be like, no. You'd be like, I gotta go fix something real quick, and then like forget that this is happening. Yeah, during a big live show. Yeah, you'd have to go out and fix the mixing and everything. You'd feel like you have to handle it. I know you. You'd be like, they've got it all wrong, and then just run off the stage into a big flame. Like right when the boom was about to happen. Yeah, it'd be intense.
This has been a wild podcast so far, and I do want to say, like, I might as well just go with another crazy story here. So, like, you mentioned Michael Jackson, the pyro thing. So he got like lit on fire doing like a Pepsi commercial.
Yes.
And then he sued Pepsi and he won.
Yes.
And then Pepsi gave him a bunch of money and he gave it to a children's hospital. And now it's 2022 and I'm like, that's an awesome, no wait, that's a creepy story.
Yeah.
Like it's just creepy all around. The whole thing is just weird now, like in 2022 retrospect.
They're funneling money. Pepsi's been funneling money for Pizzagate.
I don't even want to, yeah, it's Pizzagate, it's Pepsigate.
Pizzagate, dude.
Oh my gosh, look out.
Here we go. Late Street Conspiracies.
That's gonna be the next real stories you guys are gonna have on the that's gonna be a set of stories you guys put out while you guys are on the road, like
put a piece of
Late Street Conspiracies.
Yes. What's that guy's name? He's like used to be the mayor of
Flavortown?
No, he was the mayor of Minnesota.
Jesse Ventura.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we'll be like, have him co-host one of them. Late Street. Here, I'm here with Late Street Conspiracies. Fucking have George Thorogood playing in the background. Bad to the bone. Be bad as fuck.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, this isn't the only place you guys have even like promoted all this stuff. So it's not like you guys are just going like one-stop shop. We're promoting on Audible Farm. They're the be-all, end-all. You guys went out and found other places, and you told me about them, and they sounded pretty goddamn cool.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
like you guys have been other places promoting this. In the last weeks, you leading up to this. Every space is everybody's getting their time to talk to you guys.
Yeah. And we wanted to do that. So we planned that, what was it, April? We were really going to do a lot of the marketing, a lot of the promoting and media side of this, because a lot of places and a lot of people don't really take that into consideration, I feel like. They don't reach out to the certain places that they should, even at the right time when they should. And so what we wanted to do was really, strategize. We know we have our tour coming up. We know we have this video, Plug Knock, that we just released. Let's talk about all these things and get all of this buzz generating. Let's make this shit fucking buzz. And let's talk to everyone that we can and get our name out there. Ethan Cain, James Tyler, Late Street, the trilogy, the intersection, all of this out there so that everyone can see what's going on, what we're planning, what we're trying to do really with this whole thing. And it's really been a blessing to all the people who've come back and like said, yeah, come to our show, come to our podcast. Like MCTV was super cool guys. Had an awesome time. Super professional, man. We went in there like, whoa, this is crazy. Felt like a news broadcasting room. And then, what'd we do with Brad? Had enough? Nice enough? Had enough. Yeah, Brad had enough. Brandon Young. Okay. And that was really cool too, talking to him just about all of this stuff online, having like a little video chat with him and his fans and his people and our fans and people. And our fans, they interacted and asked us a bunch of questions, some important questions that they wanted to know about what we were doing and just where we stand on certain things. And it's cool to have that type of interaction from our fans and be able to do that. And then tomorrow, we'll go out to the radio station here at 92.1 with Mason for the Regional Rock Hour and discuss with him, what we got going on here and the plan of everything we got going on. Yeah, some new ideas, some new stuff, and hopefully we're gonna release a little new song to get some tasteful circulation on the regular air here. Get a Late Street song on, just whenever he does a regional rock hour. Now he has a song from Late Street that will be able to be played. Yeah, that'll be able to play. That's not only a hip hop song, but it's also a tasteful. Yeah, a little touch of Ethan. Yeah, beat
around the bush. Call it a rock.
It's not. It's like a pop punk song. It's like a grungy pop punk hip hop song. Yeah, it's tight. And we're finally able to do all that and touch on all these things with all these different people, and that's really cool. And it's been a blessing to chat with everybody. And yeah, that's awesome.
I do want to mention there are a lot of crossover listeners between the Regional Rock Hour and Audible Farm. That this episode is coming out next week. So like that. You guys were on the Regional Rock Hour
last week through
the magic of production and radio and internet.
Shit, if you're not following Late Street, follow Late Street everywhere, and you will be able to see and reach back on this interview that we're talking about. That's happening tomorrow, but will be happening next week.
So yeah, I mean, I also do want to say, like, while you got the mic there, it is really cool that obviously Mason's doing the Regional Rock Hour. It's not the regional. Country hour, even though he has played some country tunes. It's not the regional hip hop hour, even though he has dabbled a tiny bit into playing some of that kind of stuff. But like, just to keep it true to his form, you're like, I'm going to make something specifically for your platform so my hometown people can hear me on the radio once a week. What do you think of that?
Yeah, no. And that's kind of absolutely what it was. So last year we went on the Regional Rock Hour for the first time as a hip hop group. For that platform, we were able to kind of breach that surface.
Yep.
And that was cool. And he actually, bent the rules or bent the format and played a couple hip hop tracks on the Regional Rock Hour, right?
Loving it.
But they didn't get continued for good reason. It's not a regional rap hour. It's not a regional hip hop hour, country hour, pop hour. It's a rock hour. So. As you've heard in this interview, Ethan Cain here, a man from that area, we've spent not only last year we were working on this hip hop shit, we were working on making sure that we could get to the point to where we're at now where we can record live instruments and be happy with the sound and the quality. And yeah, so we're approaching Regional Rock Hour with a song that fits the mold and allows them to say Late Street fits your mold, man. If that's what it needs to take to say they're a relevant name who's doing something where we're all from and doing something for the community, if it takes us making this song in this format, then we are happy to oblige, not only because it's where we come from and it's happily rooted within us. It's just took us a while to get here, and now that we're here, we're happy to fucking do it for sure.
Well, it's kind of awesome, man. I mean, like you guys, like you said, you're into the whole like graffiti art thing. That's like almost just like, boom, this is my Audible graffiti now is on this radio station for everyone to listen to. It's just super cool. It's no different than, I mean, I'm sticker guy. You guys like stickers. It's boom. I stuck my sticker on that. Boom. There it is. It's right there now for everybody. They can see it when they walk by. They can see it when they have the radio. Hear it when they have the radios on. So there it is.
Yeah. Way dope. Way dope.
What do you got left on your little list there that you want to talk about? Did we cover everything?
That's about it, man.
Oh man, we did. I think we did a pretty good job here. I had a blast sitting down talking with you guys.
We did. Yeah. I had a blast with you, Tyler. James Tyler. What are you doing? What do you want to do? To who?
Fucking Audible Farm. Calm down, man. I want to give a shout out to my man Peter right here. Audible Farm Podcast. Thank you for having us, and thank you for everybody else who had us, on this physical promo run that we felt was important to do. Fucking once again, man, Audible Farmcast. You had me once, you had Lay Street, and you're about to have us again. I guarantee it. But man, shout out. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
I love it. Thank you guys very much. Ethan, you got one up on the way out?
Oh yeah. Shout out my mom. And everyone who loves Late Street and hangs out with Late Street, definitely shout out Audible Farms and shout out Lefties. Shout out, like you said, 93 and Alive, Snake Lucci, Jesse, yeah, bro, yeah, I know, Jesse Strawstone, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, shout out to everybody. Shout out to the team that made this possible. Shout out to everybody, shout out to, everybody. Yeah, everybody. That's what it is. Ethan Cain. All right. James Tyler. Late Street.
That interview was packed. That was tons of fun talking to those two. Oh my gosh, they've got so much stuff going on. New albums, new music videos in the works. They've got a tour coming up. They recently released a new single. They not only that, but they made a song that would fit into the Regional Rock Hour, which is a rock radio show that plays local music for Iowa people. So if you're listening to this and you're from Iowa and you got a rock song, toss it on there. But they're primarily a hip hop band, and they said, guess what? We can rock too. And they made a rock song, and it's killer. I heard it before. Actually, I got a little sneak peek of it before they even put it on the radio. But holy moly, yeah, they were right. Check out all their social medias for everything. I'm talking everything. If you listen to this and you were like, what was going on in this video? There's got to be some fun stuff going on in this video. Well, I'll tell you what, go to the Late Street social medias, especially their YouTube channel. They said they're going to be posting clips and segments of this, as well as possibly a giant hunk of what should be the whole video. I mean, I know they've got a bunch of the video. I've got a bunch of video. My video's on the Patreon channel, but theirs is just, I think they're just going to toss it out there for free. So check it out. Absolutely go to their social media pages. There's links down below to social media, as well as James Tyler and Ethan Cain. Go check them out on tour. If you're listening from out of state, absolutely go check them out on tour. These guys they're awesome. They're tons of fun. They're so much fun to hang out with. As you can tell in this episode, they get along really well, and it's hard not to laugh and smile and have a good time when you're around these guys. It's so funny because they take their music so seriously, but they just seem to be fun-loving guys. And boy, do they take the music seriously. I mean, they were talking about having a whiteboard with a schedule on it. I saw it. It's for real. It's there. That's how dedicated they are. They've got scheduled out dates for everything they want to do. They did interviews on all sorts of different podcasts, some radio stations, things like that for this upcoming tour, for the release they're going to have. I mean, these are some busy people here, and they're doing lots of work. Check them out. Like I said, check them out on social media if you don't believe me. They've got posts. They post just enough where it's not invasive. It's pretty awesome. I don't know how they do it. We talked about it a year ago when I was talking with James Tyler. He sat down and did all the work to research all this stuff, to figure out like what's the best time to post when for certain things, and should I post, you're posting too many videos and not enough. I mean, he's figured it out. He sits down and he tests through it, and he's figured it out. He looks at the analytics. He knows what's going on. I mean, the dedication they have for their music definitely shines through in other places, as you know, jack of all trades, as we talked about in this. And we talked about all sorts of crazy stuff in this episode. Like I said, if you guys want the unedited version, go check out their social medias. They've got video, they've got audio, they've got it all. They're going to be posting some clips. It's going to be there, so check it out. Otherwise, you can go to the Patreon channel, check out the Audible Farm version of this for just $1 a month. And we've got some video of this as well, unedited on the Audible Farm Patreon channel. I actually looked it up. I only edited I think a minute and 20 seconds off of this. So it's really, there's like almost no editing, but some of it's there. Some of it's just like repeats and camera cuts and things like that we were doing in the middle of this one. Yeah, I mean, this is a fun episode. I had a great time. Like I said, check out all their social medias down below, and check them out on tour. Also, if you guys want to check out some Audible Farm stuff, there's Audible Farm links down below. Their links. The shop is always there. Audible Farm. The shop.audiblefarm.com. That's where you'll find all the Audible Farm merch. With the limited edition Audible Farm shirts that are there. I'm running out of sizes. I recently sold a few. Last week I sold a few of them. So there's only a handful left. I could probably, I don't know. They're in the other room. I'm not gonna count them and tell you. Go to the shop, check them out, see what we got for sizes. Sizes are limited, and what's there is what's there. So otherwise, we got the Audible Farm classic shirts as well. I love seeing those out and about. I've sold a pile of those, and I thank you guys very much for that. It's always fun to see people wearing Audible Farm merch out at shows. Sometimes people are wearing them when they're performing. That is also amazing. If you've got some Audible Farm pictures, post them online. Tag us in them. Let us see you wearing the merch. That's awesome stuff. That's really cool. So, yeah, there's that. Otherwise, the Patreon channel, I mentioned it a few times here. Go to the Patreon channel. Video versions of the podcast, $1 a month. Otherwise, the audio versions are always free. The audio versions are free, and that's what you're listening to right now. So thank you guys very much for listening to the audio versions of the podcast. Audiblefarm.com. You can find all the Audible Farm goodies. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Check us out. Give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We have all sorts of stuff. All the details for socials and everything else is audiblefarm.com. All right. Gotta say thanks once again to James Tyler, Ethan Cain. Holy moly, I had a great time sitting down talking with these guys. I mean, it was an absolute blast. I know you guys could tell in this episode. I mean, we were laughing and just having a hoot. So, yeah, good times, good times. Good luck to those guys out on tour. Check out their new album when it comes out. Once again, go to all of their social medias for all that information. I'm out of here for this week, guys. We will check you next week. Should be back next week with another guest. Hopefully I don't have another off week. But I've scheduled some stuff out. I've had some. Now I'm gonna tie back into this. I've had some really cool people messaging me about some really cool opportunities to interview some really, really interesting people. Hopefully some of them come to fruition throughout the summer. And yeah, if you've got some, the worst you can do is ask. I mean, just go ahead and ask, and we'll see what goes on. But yeah, hit me up if you guys want to be on the podcast. I'd love to sit down and talk with you guys if we can make it happen. All right, I'm out. Peace.